Yeah, good evening to everybody. Welcome to the class, the law of third that I'm dealing. And yesterday I announced that today I'm going to teach the trespass to land. What is the topic?
Trespass to land.
Read what I posted on the screen.
Good evening. No trespassing. Proof Dr. Mohammed Saheb Hussain.
Yes. And what about this one? What about that one?
Trespass to land.
Yes. And if anybody will give the answer to my question, I will give 50 rupees as a reward for this one. What is this? Anyone? What is this?
Pass on, sir.
See, you might have seen the old movies or in old houses, in the roof side, there would be a crane or a tiger or any animal or any figure from the roof water will flows from here. The rain roof water. Can you tell me what is what are you saying in Telugu? The roof water will flow from there. If it rains on the roof water will come through this like animals or crane or any other lion or tigress or human figure. The roof water. That is called gargoyle, because I am going to use this gargoyle in one of the anticipatory nuisance. The nuisance chapter that I will use it. A grotesque carved human or animal face or figure projecting from the gutter of a building, typically acting as a spout to carry water clear of a wall. Another sense, a gargoyle is a water spout usually carved to resemble an odd or monstrous creature that protrudes from a structure's wall or roof line. By definition, a real gargoyle has a function to throw rainwater away from the building. What is the real function of the gargoyle? What is the real function of the gargoyle?
To throw rainwater away from a building.
Yes, that is a sprout. That is another way. So this is called a gargoyle. I will use these gargoyles when I was teaching the new sense. At the time, again, I will ask you whether you could remember the gargoyle or not. Now let us come to our point of study. This is the trespass to the land. Is a crime or not? Read anyone. Unmute and read. Yes.
Trespass to land refers to the physical interference of someone over the property of other who is in possession of it, and the act being done negligently or with intention without any legal justification leads to commits an offense. It can be both civil and criminal depending on the nature of the act being done. Like where a person negligently enters the premises of another can be liable for civil trespass. But when a person enters the premises of other with the wrongful intention of committing theft, then he can be held liable for criminal trespass. Professor
Dr. Mohammed Saheb
Mohammed
Hussain.
Saheb Hussain.
So there is a civil trespass, like if any person negligently, I say negligently, enters the premises of other without the permission, can be liable for the civil trespass. But the criminal trespass, if a person enters the premises of others with the wrongful intention of committing a theft, then he can be held liable for the criminal trespass. So there are how many types of trespass are there?
Two.
Civil trespass and criminal trespass. But when you say the trespass to person, we studied, which are said to be the assault, battery, and false imprisonment. Even malicious prosecution also comes over there. And trespass to immobile property means trespass to land. So in the trespass to land, civil trespass and a criminal trespass are there. So Here, no trespassing. It's the premises. One should not enter into the premises because it is not a thoroughfare. Everybody cannot be permitted. Are you following me? So let us see the trespass. What is the meaning of it? Trespass to land means interference with the position of land without lawful justification. So interfering with the position of land. I said possession of land. I did not say ownership of land. So in trespass, the interference with the possession is direct and through some tangible object. If it's a direct, we can say it is a trespass. If anything tangible object is passed over there, then we can say nuisance. A trespass is actionable per se. There is no necessity that the damages should be suffered or proved. And the plaintiff need not to prove any damage for an action for a trespass. ఏం సార్ ఒక్క కాలు అడుగు పెడితేనే అయిపోయిందా వాళ్ళ భూమిలో? ఎస్, ఇట్ ఈస్ ఎనఫ్. ఇట్స్ amount to trespass. With the intent to steal, criminal trespass. With intent to, without negligently put it over there, it is a civil trespass. In any way, it is a trespass only. Sir, behind there is a cheetah. So I went into the premises to hide myself to not to become a prey to the cheetah, leopard. Okay, you did not have any intention, other intention, but the intention to protect yourself. Okay, it can be excused because of necessity. Sir, daily entering and every time cheetah is behind me. Are you following me?
Yes, sir.
Then that fellow daily entering means with the some intent to steal some flowers or some fruits, some vegetables, and taking the plea of, and every time the leopard is behind him. So one time he say leopard, one time he say tiger. Do you think that tiger and leopard and elephant will be in the streets? Are you following?
No, sir.
Suppose if it is there in the forest, we can say that is a different area. But in the street, these are all things will not be there. If any elephant will be seen in the street, then definitely the forest department or the zoo department, they will take the elephant from where it has come, or if it is escaped from the zoo, it can be taken back to the zoo. To constitute the wrong of trespass, so neither force nor unlawful intention nor actual damage is necessary. See, note the point. To constitute the wrong of trespass, to make the label as a trespass, neither force is not needed, nor unlawful intention is not needed, nor any actual damage should be there. No. If you just treat your leg on somebody's land without his permission or her permission, it amounts to trespass actionable per se. కాలు పెట్టినంత మాత్రాన మునిగిపోయిందా సార్ అంది? Why did you put your kalu? Why did you treat your leg over there? Why you want to step over there? Want to test what? Whether the earth is loose, whether the earth is strong, or the foundation is good, or foundation is strong. It is none of your business. Are you following me?
Yes, sir.
So trespass may be committed how? Number one, by entering upon the land of the plaintiff. I say entering upon the land of the plaintiff. It is enough. Number two, by remaining there. Number three, by doing an act affecting the sole possession of the plaintiff in each case without any justification. Why you want to go into the land and without the permission of the landowner? And why you want to be there for a longer time? And what is the purpose of staying over there? Is it not the privacy of the other person will be interfered? The doing an act affecting the sole position of the plaintiff in each case without any justification. So it is a plaintiff will be suffered because your presence is a restriction to his privacy, the violation of his privacy. So you are not supposed to enter into somebody's land without the permission. Otherwise, you will be called as a trespasser. So trespass could be committed either by a person himself entering the land of the another person, or doing the same through some material object like throwing a stone on another person's land. Yes, It is also a trespass. Allowing a cattle to stay on another person's land, also a trespass. And it is, however, no trespass when there is no interference with the possession. So, unless until you don't intervene in the other's position, so you are not committed any trespass. Sir, కళలో కూడా trespass చేస్తారా సార్? Yes. The answer, in the kalalu, it is not the reality, so there is no trespass at all. So, if the interference is not direct but consequential, the wrong may be nuisance. Like piling up the, what I say, the rubbish in your own area. But because of the wind, the rubbish will reach to the and enter to the premises of the plaintiff, then it amounts to a nuisance. Do you know chimney? Do you know chimney?
Yes, sir. The gases will escape from the chimney.
Gases will come from the chimney. In the olden times, there is a fire would be there in the house to make the house warm. So the chimneys are there. From there, of course, for cooking also they use, the smoke will come out, the soot will be there. If the chimney soot or the fumes continuously harassing your neighbor, then it is amount to a nuisance. Sir, మేము చెప్పినాము సార్ పొగకొట్టు పోవద్దని. If the continuously from morning till evening we are cooking, and it is not a nuisance to the neighbor. Sir, అంతకాలతో ఒక ఎల్పిజి కొనివేనండి సార్ ఆయన వాళ్ళను. Can you say so?
No, sir.
No. So, it is a nuisance. To allow the stones or smoke from the ruinous chimney means dilapidated chimney or a chimney which needs the repair to fall upon these premises. If the chimney falls on somebody's premises, yes, it is amount to the nuisance, a wrongful nuisance. And planting a tree on another's land is a trespass. I repeat, planting a tree on another's land is a trespass. But if a person plants a tree in his own land, but the branches and roots protruded in the other's land, it is a nuisance. Are you following me?
Yes, sir.
So, going beyond the purpose for which a person has entered certain premises. You know that in the hotel, others are not allowed. It will be written over there. Have you observed any time? Have you observed any time that others will not be allowed? That would be the clearly put it over there. And only boarding pass passengers are allowed inside. Did you see such a thing? Did you see
Yes,
such
sir.
a thing? Say yes or no.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We said yes.
Where you have seen? Where you have seen?
Boarding pass visitors are allowed somewhere in the airport. sir.
Where? In hotel? In park? In circus? Where? Say pass on. I will give the answer.
Pass on, sir.
Boarding passes persons are allowed inside means those who are getting the boarding passes to enter into the plane, they have to go to the immigration checkup. Once you went to the, first you have to the thorough checking with the X-ray checking would be there, and they will check your ticket as well as your passport. Then you have to go to the counter. Suppose you are going by the Lufthansa or the Oman Airways or any airways, there is a executive line is there, another. Business class is separate, economic class is separate. There, you can enter over there and they will weigh your luggage and they will put it over there. The handbag also they will check it. The hand size also they check it. Then they will give the boarding pass. Once you have taken the boarding pass, you are not supposed to come out. You can say Tata from the window only. Once the boarding pass is given over there, you have to go to the immigration for the stamping. Once the stamping would be there, you have to go to the lounge to wait for the plane to come. Once the gate is opened, then you are entered into from the gate to the plane. That is the thing. Why I am giving all those things to you? What is my purpose of giving this thing to you? Sir, you are sharing my experiences. Like me, you also travel. That's my intention. Not with your own money, with the government money, other people's money. Yes, going beyond the purpose for which the person has entered in the certain premises, okay, up to that extent that you will be allowed. But if you go beyond that, you are a trespasser. So Pereira versus 1DR are crossing the boundary where he has an authority to go amount to trespass. When what you have authority to go only to that extent. For instance, a postman comes to your house with a registered post. How far that he can enter into your premises?
Into the drawing room.
Only to the drawing room, not to the kitchen room. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
If none of them is available over there, in the front there is a bell, he will ring it. If somebody comes, well, sir, there is no bell, you bang it on the door. So somebody will come, okay, they will put the signature and take the registered post. So beyond that, he will call it trespasser. Thus, if a person who is allowed to sit in a drawing room enters the bedroom without any justification, the entry into the bedroom is a trespass because he is permitted only to the drawing room.
Drawing room.
However, if the area to which a person is lawfully invited, okay, and on which is the prohibited area has not properly marked, if the properly not marked over there, then he moved that area, then he is not committed a trespass because there is no proper marked area because restricted zone, it will be written over there. So dangerous zone. So person does not become a trespasser if there is no marked area to be there. Merely going beyond the area of invitation, okay, but not allowed beyond this point. At that instance, you are not supposed to go it. Of course, there is no marked area there, you can enter into the premises. Yes, where there is a justification to enter the premise of another, it is no trespass. If there is a justification, like the postman coming up to the drawing room is a justification. It is not a trespass. What about the beggar?
Trespass. It is a trespass, sir.
అమ్మా లేవు రాదు కాబట్టి మీ ఇంటి వెనకకి వచ్చిన అంటే అనొచ్చా అండి?
No, sir.
You are not supposed to do. Either he has to cry over there, and if it is a phone is available, you can call అమ్మా నేను వచ్చిన అమ్మా నాకు ఇంత సద్యాన్నం పెట్టండి అమ్మా అని he can call it because every now it is a new style of asking. Okay, what is the name of the case law? Read.
In Madhav Vital Pudwa versus Madhavas Vallabh Das, the defendant was the plaintiff's tenant. He was living on the first floor of the multi-storied building. He used to park his car in the compound of the plaintiff's building. The plaintiff contended that the parking of the car in his compound without his permission was a trespass and sued for an injunction. It was held that the tenant of a multi-storied building has a right to use the compound, if any, around the building for parking of his car or other vehicles without causing any inconvenience to anybody, and that right can be exercised without the permission of the landlord.
See, here in this case law, Madhava Vittal Kudwa versus Madhava Das Vallabha Das. So the defendant was a plaintiff's tenant. So who is the tenant here? Who is the plaintiff? Landlord. Who is the defendant? He is the tenant. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
The landlord is having the multi-story building. If you have the multi-story building, before you are giving, they will ask you, do you have the two-wheeler or three-wheeler or four-wheeler? Because parking, the rate is different. Without parking, rate is different. Okay, two-wheeler parking, okay, free. But four-wheeler parking, there should be separate rate would be there. When you purchase a multi-story building in the cities, first they will ask, we paid the 2 lakhs rupees for the parking. That depends upon the area also. How much? A big lorry parking is different from the small car parking. So only 3-bedroom flat people are having the parking. 2-bedroom flat are having only 2-floor parking. If the floors are more and the place is less in the multi-story building. So he parked around the area, but he already told that he is having the two-wheeler. Sorry, he is having the four-wheeler. At that instance, it is a must to park, but only the thing is, he should not park so that the other people will become a nuisance to them in coming and going away. So he is having a right to park anywhere because it is implied that he is having the four-wheeler. Of course, it should be very much clearly shown. But in the beginning, he said the two-wheeler. Later, he purchased the four-wheeler. That means if there is no parking place would be there. Naturally, he should park outside only. I don't know whether you have seen other places or not. In most of the Europe now, the cars are parked on the roadside only, the whole night. Did you observe any time?
No, sir.
You did not observe. Let me check whether I have. Yeah. The most of the time, because I asked my daughter why it is like that. Then they say, Daddy, the parking space is not there. Most of the places, that is the reason the people will park their cars in outside only. Here I could not see the park. Because see, did you see there is a parking space here?
No, sir. No parking space.
So generally people will keep it outside only, most of the places. Because there is no parking space, and that is the reason they do keep outside the vehicles. So what I want to say is, parking space, you have the separate amount should be paid. See here, did you see the parking space anywhere?
No, sir.
He is my son-in-law, younger son-in-law, and his daughter. And these people are in the Utrecht, that is Netherlands. On side they went over there, my daughter. So everybody uses the bicycles there because it's easy to go, and there is no air pollution also in the bicycles. Are you following me?
Yes, sir.
So why I am giving this example is, if the parking place is there, the rate is different. No parking place, the rate is different. I've got two-wheeler free. Are you following me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, in the multi-story building I am speaking about it. So it is not a trespass because he knows that he is having the car, so he can keep anywhere in the compound, but it should not be a nuisance to the other people coming and going. Is it clear? Say yes.
Yes, sir.
What is the case law?
Madhav Vital Kudwa versus Madhavas Vallabhada.
Yes, in that there is no even parking. So a man is not liable for the trespass committed involuntarily. For example, when he is thrown upon the land by someone else, but he is liable if the entry is intentional. Suppose somebody has thrown you in somebody's land. No, it is not his intentionally entered in it. Because that fellow is a bouncer, and this fellow is created a nuisance. That fellow has thrown him on the outside, and he fell on somebody's land. At that time, it is not able to trespass, but intentionally enter into it because he wants to take the vankayalu from the courtyard. What do you say, vankayalu? What do you say, vankayalu in English?
Brinjals.
Brinjals. He wants to take the lady
Brinjals,
fingers.
sir.
Yes, brinjals. ఇక చెప్పండి దొండకాయలు ఏమంటారండి? సార్ అదే సార్ మాకు అసైన్మెంట్ గెర్కిన్స్ అంటారు దాన్ని. GHERKINS, Gherkins. You check it whether I am right or not, because I know that it's called. Okay, let us come to the snake god అంటే అది అవి అవుతాయి. ఇవి స్నేక్ గోడ్ అంటే తెలుసా అండి?
సొరకాయ సార్.
సొరకాయ కాదు, అది పొట్లకాయ. స్నేక్ గౌడ్, అది స్నేక్ గౌడ్ ని పొట్లకాయ అంటారు. ఇది వాటర్ గౌడ్ అంటారు. ఇది అనపకాయని అనపకాయ అంటారు. అదేంటి సొరకాయ అంటారా?
ఏంటి సార్?
కుకుంబర్ కుకుంబర్ అంటే వేరు, దోసకాయ అది. Okay, let us come to the point. Trespass is a wrong against the possession rather than the ownership. Who is the owner of the land is not important. Who is the possessor of the land is more important. Trespass is a wrong against the possession rather than the ownership. Therefore, a person in actual possession can bring an action even though against the true owner. Suppose owner has given the land for the lease. If the lease period is not over, and the true owner cannot enter into the premises of the tenant unless until he asks the tenant permission to enter in it. So his position was wrongful, even though he is a true owner. The trespasser is not allowed to take the defense of the just as she, title of the third person. In the trespasser cannot plead that he is between some third party and the person in possession. The third party is a better. See, are you the owner of the property? No, but I am the possessor of the property. Yes, he is having every right. No one can be entered except permission will be taken by the owner if he is coming over there. Suppose if he is coming every month to take the rent, okay, he will be permitted. But every week he is not supposed to enter into the premises to see whether the premises are good or not, because it is violating the privacy of the tenant. Is it or not?
Yes, sir.
Can
అరే పొద్దుగాల వచ్చి చూసుకుంటాడు, సాయంకాలం వచ్చి చూసుకుంటాడు, మధ్యాహ్నం వచ్చి చూసుకుంటాడు. ఉన్నాయా లేవా? చెట్లు ఉన్నాయా లేవా? జామకాయలు ఉన్నాయా లేవా? ఇంగ్లీష్లో చెప్పండి.
Gavas.
Goa, whether plant is there or not. Goa, the fruits are there or not. No, once you are given for the lease, let them enjoy it. You are not the owner of it. The tenants are owner of it. Are you following me?
Yes, sir. They are the possessor.
Yes. So in Graham versus Pete, this is another case law, the plaintiff was holding the land under the lease, which was wide in the lease. Okay, parvale. But he was entitled to bring an action for the trespass against the defendant who had entered the land without lawful justification. If anyone without lawful justification enter into the land, even though his lease period is over, doesn't matter. He is the position of the property. Then other person who comes as a trespasser only. But if the owner comes, if the lease period is over, yes, he is not a
Then it is
trespasser.
not a trespass.
He is not a trespass because he is having every right to re-enter in the land because the lease period is over. And this fellow is not evacuating. Any position is a legal position against the wrongdoer. Of course, a person in a position, if he himself is not a owner, can bring an action. I told you already. An owner of the land who neither has a position nor any immediate right to possess it cannot bring an action for the trespass. No, the owner cannot bring the trespass unless until the lease period is over. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Baxter versus Taylor. A reversioner అంటే అర్థం ఏంటిదంటే, suppose if you have given the land for the lease or mortgage ఇచ్చారనుకోండి, if the mortgage period is over, the land should be returned back. Of course, the amount should be paid with the interest. So if the lease period is over, then he is having every right to take it back. That's called reversionary rights center. Who is having the reversionary rights? Owner. Yeah, a reversioner means a person who gets an estate back in reversion, an interest that reverts back to the grantor after the certain period is over, means lease period is over. May however sue if by the trespasser injury of some permanent nature. వాడు మంచిగా గార్డెన్ పెట్టారండి, and they have given the garden. But this fellow, he changed the garden into the tennis court. Can he does so? Without the permission of the owner?
No, sir.
He
No, sir.
cannot.
Should not.
Suppose if you want to use some of the place as a tennis court or even a shuttlecock court, you have to take the permission. Sir, the greenery is there, but it is not fully. Then we want to make it out as a ground. They will either he may say that okay, you can grow the greenery and you can say green court instead of saying clay court. You can say green court. See, lawn tennis will be played in the two pitches. One is on the lawn, another is on the clay. అర్థమైందా అండి నేను చెప్పింది?
Somewhat, sir.
ఈ సంవాంటెడ్ అర్థం ఇప్పుడు నేను అనుకోవాలన్నా, మీకు అర్థమైందని లేదని అనుకోవాలన్నా? ఇవన్నీ గార్గోయల్స్, ఇవన్నీ మీకు చూపెట్టినాయి. లాన్ టెన్నిస్ అంటే లాన్లో ఆడతారండి. అది లాన్ అంటే పచ్చిక బయళ్ళు అంటారు చూడండి, లాన్ టెన్నిస్. లాన్ టెన్నిస్ ఇది చూడండి, గ్రీనరీ ఉంటుంది చూడండి, ఆర్టిఫిషియల్ గ్రీనరీ. దిస్ ఈస్ artificial greenery. This lawn tennis should be there, and another is clay tennis is there. And దాంట్లో కొంచెం అది గట్టి ఉంటుంది, అది పచ్చి, అది గడ్డి ఉంటుంది దాంట్లో. క్లే అంటారు, CLA క్లే. దీన్ని బ్యాట్ అనకండి, దీన్ని ఏమనాలండి? దీన్ని
రాకెట్,
రాకెట్ అంటారు. బ్యాట్ దేనికి అంటారండి?
క్రికెట్
Bat.
బ్యాట్,
క్రికెట్ ని బ్యాట్ అంటారు. మరి గోల్ఫ్ ఆడేదాన్ని ఏమంటారండి? అది కొట్టేది ఉంటుంది చూడండి.
ఆన్
Yes.
చేసుకున్నా.
క్లబ్ అంటారా, క్యూ అంటారా? అది అది ఇది మన ఆ కట్టెతో బాలను కొడతారు చూడండి, స్పూలింగ్ అంటారు. ఏంటిది అది ఆడేది?
క్యూ, CUE.
క్యూ, అది CUE క్యూ అంటారు దాన్ని. దాన్ని
Billiards.
yes, that is a separate name would be there. So what I want to say here is you cannot change the green grass into the clay. So you have to take permission from the owner. So trespass is possible not only in the surface of the land, but is also equally possible in the intrusion on the subsoil also. Means on the land, above the land, below the land. Taking minerals from out of the subsoil means below the land, it is amount to a trespass. Unless until surface is yours and subsoil is others. Okay, let him excavate it. It is possible that the surface may be in the position of one person. I repeat, it is possible that the surface may be in the position of one person and the subsoil for another. Okay, it can be allowed. In such a case, if the trespass is on the surface, the person is in the position of the surface alone. That is, the surface is given to somebody else. If you make a trespass on surface, you are a trespasser, but you are the possessor of the subsoil. Okay, you can make the trespass in the subsoil. What is subsoil?
Below the ground.
Yes, that is the. So subsoil can sue for that similarly. For trespass on the subsoil, the possessor of the subsoil alone can sue. So there may be the two owners. One is on the surface, another subsoil. Then what about the aerospace? Above the space, above the land? To certain
It belongs
extent,
to the
certain extent,
surface.
the possessor. ఏరోప్లేన్ మా ఇంటి మీదకి వెళ్ళి పోవద్దు. కెన్ యూ సే సో?
No, sir.
Okay, you should not go very near to it where your utensils will vibrate it, which is there in the kitchen. Are you following me?
Yes, sir.
So whose houses are adjacent to the ending of the runway, and if they have the huts, there would not be any multi-story building with the both ends. They will not give the permission. The runway both ends, there will not be multi-story buildings. Only one ground, only floor. Only one floor they will allow. After some time they will allow for the bigger buildings. So even it is a big Boeing is the takeoff, no, sometimes the thing which is hanging in your kitchen will rattle it. Gala 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 antadi. Support stage vibrations would be there, because at the ending I am speaking it, or in the landing also in the same way. But the landing less, but the takeoff more sound is there, because heavy motors turbines will run and it will produce a lot of sound. So similarly, a trespass on the subsoil, also a trespass. The possessor of the subsoil alone can sue. However, digging a hole vertically in the land may amount to trespass to the owner who is the surface of it, and below it, it is also if a new one vertically digs the land. So both the trespass would be there. Trespass on the surface, trespass on the subsoil, if another person will dig a vertical hole. So probably an inevitable accident will be a good defense, that is, there is a case of trespass to person or chattel, domestic animals or cars or furnitures. See, inevitable accident means he tried to escape the accident, but at last it will be occurs over there, then it is the inevitable accident. What is the famous case law in the inevitable accident? English case law? Hurry up. Can I tell the facts of the case law? Can I tell the name of the case law?
Sir, you tell the facts of the case law.
See, the two shooting parties, one shooting party is he shooted the pheasant, but the pellet has glanced off the oak tree and take the reversion and injured the other shooting party person. So they filed a case against the first shooting party for the trespass to person, that is battery. So the defense taken by the is it is an inevitable accident. What is the name of the case law? Stanley versus Powell.
Yes, sir. Stanley versus.
That is the name of the case law. See, this is the only method you have to remember the cases. So it is irrelevant that the defendant made a reasonable mistake and was not a negligent. No. So one should not say, Sir, full ga dagipoyindandi. Pakka intlo kotti tiye pellam tee ani cheppindu. Is it he committed an offense or not?
Yes, sir.
What offense he committed? Number 1, trespass to land. Number 2, nuisance he created by banging the door and making rise at the night, midnight, 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock. So the two offenses he committed over there. Either intentionally or mistakenly, it doesn't matter. Sir, నేను తాగున్నాను కదా, ఎవడు తాగమన్నాడండి అంత తెలియకుండా? Tell me. Sir, somebody forced me to drink it. Whatever the may be, that you should be very much reasonable would be there. You call your wife. వెళ్ళామా, నేను ఫోన్ చేస్తాను, బయటికి రా, మన ఇల్లు ఏదో కనబడతలేదు నాకు. ఓకే, if he comes out, then you can go. Are you following me? Are you following me? అసలు అంతా తాగినప్పుడు నెంబర్ కూడా కలపస్తుందా అండి?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let us see the Basley versus Clarkson, the one of the case law. When the defendant mowed అంటే తెలుసా అండి మీకు? Mowed his own land. ఆ కటింగ్ మిషన్ ఉంటుంది చూడేది, లాన్ని కట్ చేసేది, దాన్ని మౌయింగ్ మిషన్ అంటారు. Are you following me?
Yes, sir.
Mowing machine, it cuts the grass. It cuts the grass. Mowing
Grass.
machine. I will show you. Lawn అంటారు దాన్ని, గ్రాస్ అన్నారు. Mowing machine. See, did you see here? Mowing machines.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So a person mowed the somebody's land, then whether he is committed an offense or not.
Yes, sir.
Trespass, definitely. So here, mowed his own land, he mistakenly crossed the boundary and mowed the land of his neighbor, believing it was his own land. The defendant's plea of mistake is claiming trespass to land failed because his act of cutting grass was intentional, even though he made a mistake as to where the boundary was. However, if the entry is proven to be involuntary, it is not a trespass. Suppose if it is involuntary, it is done over there, then very rare cases it is not amount to trespass. Otherwise, it is definitely trespass, because it is you have to make it sure that where your boundary starts, where your boundary ends. Are you following me?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Now, Smith versus Stone case law, if someone else throw a person on the land of someone else, his entry is unintentional, he will not be liable. As I told you just before, a bouncer has taken a man and thrown on somebody's land outside. So he fell on somebody's land, then it's not amount to trespass. There is no act of entry by the defendant in such a situation. It is a general presumption that the person who owns the surface of land owns the underlying state also. Above the land, below the land also. Thus, at the instance of the owner of the surface, the entry beneath the surface, and whatever the depth is an actionable trespass. Yes. How much the depth would be there? Depth would be there. Sir, Lanke Vindalu Nai Sarkinda. Whose property it is?
Property of the owner.
అది తెలిసింది అనుకోండి గవర్నమెంట్ కి,
Then they will take the property.
the property of the government, even though the land belongs to you. Suppose మీ దగ్గర మీ ల్యాండ్ లో గ్రానైట్ పడ్డదనండి, the government will take away your granite. Of course, they will give the amount to you. They will acquire it and they will auction it and they will give the compensation to you. Are you following me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
ఇప్పుడు భూపాలపల్లి ఉన్నదండి, ఓపెన్ కాస్ట్ అయింది, ఆ మొత్తం ల్యాండ్స్ మొత్తం కాంపెన్సేషన్ ఇచ్చింది. ఇట్ ఈస్ టేకెన్ బై ద సింగరేణి కాలేజ్ కంపెనీ లిమిటెడ్. So it is possible that the underlying strata may be in the possession of the different person. Okay, there may be possibilities there. Upper land yours and lower land mines, but it doesn't matter. If any mine would be there, either the coal mine or gold mine or a copper mine, mica mine, the government will take it. So illustration, let us see. When a person who is not in a position of the surface holds mining rights, if the surface of the land is in the position of A and subsoil in the position of B, because the two are the different possessors. A is the surface, B is the subsoil. The surface entry will be an infringement of A and the subsoil entry will be the infringement of B, because two owners are there. If surface make it means infringement of A. Who is the owner of the surface? B means is the subsoil owner. So if any interference you did with the subsoil, then there is an infringement to the B. Is it clear?
Sir.
Yes, sir.
ట్రెస్పాస్ అబ్ ఇన్ ఇష్యూ. నేను ఒక కేసులా చెప్పినండి. ఇట్ ఇస్ నాట్ ఏ ట్రెస్పాస్ అబ్ ఇన్ ఇష్యూ. ఒక అమ్మాయి కూడా అడిగింది, సార్ ఇది ట్రెస్పాస్ అబ్ ఇన్ ఇష్యూ ఎందుకు చెప్పారండి మీరు? అసలు వాళ్ళు పోయారు కాదండి. ఎస్, బిగినింగ్ కాదు అది. ఎందుకంటే ఎవ్రీబడి ఈస్ హ్యావింగ్ ఎంటర్ ఇన్ టు ద పబ్లిక్ బార్ ఆర్ పబ్లిక్ ఇన్ ఆర్ హోటల్. దే కెన్ ఈట్ ఇట్, ఓకే. ఇన్ సమ్ ప్లేసెస్ నో, ఫస్ట్ యూ పే, దెన్ ఓన్లీ దట్ ఫెలో విల్ బ్రింగ్. బార్లో ఏం చేస్తారండి, వాడు ముందుగా పైసలు ఇస్తేనే పట్టుకొస్తాడు. అది ఫాలోయింగ్ మీ. మీకు ఎట్లా తెలుసు సార్? తెలుసు అంటే వాడు నేను 2000 రూపాయలు ఇచ్చిన అంటాడు. మళ్ళీ లేకుంటే ఎంత ఇచ్చండి? 200 ఇచ్చి ఎన్ని అంటాడు? 2000 అంటాడు. కాబట్టి ఫస్ట్ యూ పే ఇట్, దెన్ యూ ఓన్లీ బ్రింగ్ దట్ ఫెలో. Okay, trespass ab initio means when a person enters a certain premises under the authority of some law and after having entered there abuses the authority by committing some wrongful act there, he will be considered to be trespasser ab initio to the property. The plaintiff can therefore claim the damages not only for the wrongful act subsequently done by the defendant, but even the respect of the ordinary entry, which is now considered to be a trespass. So now, in order that the entry of person to entertain the premises is treated as a trespass ab initio, it is necessary the defendant must be guilty of the positive wrongful act, that is called misfeasance, rather than the mere omission to do his act, that is the non-feasance. Because 6 carpenter case la cheppamandi మనం. ఏంటిదా కేసు లా అండి చెప్పండి? What is the 6 carpenters case law?
Pass on, sir.
Why you are taking so much time to say pass on? The 6 carpenters, after doing the hard work, they went to the public inn, ante restaurant, pub ke ellaru. They ordered for the wine and the bread in the first round. Okay, they paid it. After some time, they ordered the second round also, again wine and bread, but nobody is having the money to pay. So at that instance, the owner said that they are trespassing ab initio. The court said no, they paid the amount because every person is having a right to enter into the pub. Of course, when they ate it, they paid it. The second round, they ate it, but they did not have the money because each one thought that he is having the money to pay it so that he can borrow it and get it next day. But no one is having that at the time money. So at the time, he found it a trespass ab initio. Then the court held that it is not trespass ab initio because they are having a right to enter and they order it and they paid it. But it's only the omission, non-feasance, means not paying the what they ate it. Only the remedy what you can do is ask them to work for the half an hour and go. Or if they are having a costly watch. What is the costly watch? I told you 2 brands. What are the 2 brands?
Rolex and Rado.
Rolex and Rado. If they have any one of the watch, they can keep it the watch as a mortgage, and the next day they can bring the money and give to them and take their watch. So that is only the method. Or for half an hour they have to clean the saucer, plates and everything. So 6 carpenter case law, if they entered the inn means here public inn enter akkada, or you can say pub also, order some of the wine and bread. After having taken the same, they refused to pay for that. Actually, they paid in the first round. The second round, they did not have the money. ఎందుకంటే ఆ రాజు గారి కథ అయింది. ఇవాళ నేను ఒక్కరే కదా నీళ్లు పోసేది, అందరు పాలు పోతాను కదా. What happened?
Everybody poured నీళ్లు.
The whole body is
water.
Because everybody thought, నేను ఒక్కనే కదా చెంబులో నీళ్లు పోసేది, అందరు పాలు పోతాను కదా. If everybody is putting the 1 jug of the milk, I am only the 1 person as putting the water, but everybody thought in the same way, the whole pot is filled with the pure water. So they had done an act of misfeasance and mere non-payment being only the non-feasance. See, misfeasance means they ate it but they did not pay it. That is the misfeasance. But they did not pay it is said to be a non-feasance because they did not do the act of payment. there was held to be the no trespass ab initio. అయితే ఎప్పుడైతే ఇది ఒక ఇది కేసులలో ఉన్నది ఇలియాస్ అండ్ ప్రాస్మోరే, because that fellow is having the enter the search warrant is there. Okay, he can enter the premises, but he has taken such a document which is not needed. So that is the case law. Misfeasance must be such that will render the presence of the defendant on the premises wholly unjustified. The case of, read the case law. Read this case.
Elias versus Passmore illustrate the point. In that case, the defendants, certain police officers, entered the plaintiff's premises to make a lawful arrest. There, they removed certain documents without having any lawful authority for that, which was, therefore, an act of misfeasance. By their act of misfeasance, their presence 3 had not become wholly unjustified because the arrest, that is, the lawful purpose, had yet to be accomplished. They were held trespassers only with regard to the documents which they had seized, and not trespassers ab initio to those premises.
Yes, because that fellow is having the arrest warrant. He is having the arrest, lawful arrest, he can make it out. But if you remove anything from there, that act only it says the misfeasance and not the trespass ab initio. At the trespass ab initio ekkadaitadante, you are supposed to pay when you are enter it, you did not pay it. Of course, you said that you will pay it later, but created a nuisance over there, then it can say trespass in ab initio. Your enter itself is a trespass because you are supposed to pay, you did not pay it. But you said you are later you will pay it. No, because you forcefully entered the premises by showing your muscle power, and there we can say trespass ab initio, it will be there. In otherwise, for the hotel, you are having every right to enter into the hotel. సార్ మీ హోటల్ వచ్చేట ముందు వాడు మీ జేబులు చెక్ చేస్తాడా అన్ని పైసలు ఉన్నాయా లేవా అని?
No, sir.
But when you are ordering, sometimes no, first you take the token and get your food. Are you following me?
Yes, sir.
సో ఎంట్రీ విత్ ద లైసెన్స్. ఇప్పుడు మనం సర్కస్కి వెళ్తామండి, మనం టికెట్ కొనుక్కుంటాం, అది ద లైసెన్స్. సో సార్ మార్నింగ్ షోకి పోయి సెకండ్ షో వరకు కూర్చోవచ్చా అండి అక్కడ?
నో సార్.
No, sir.
ఎందుకు సార్?
లైఫ్ టికెట్ లైఫ్ వచ్చేసి
దట్ ఈస్ వ్యాలిడ్ ఓన్లీ ఫర్ వన్ షో.
Morning show.
If you are there in the next show, you are a trespasser. Are you following me?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Entering certain premises with the authority of a person in possession of the amount to a license and the defendant cannot be made liable for trespass. Okay. Because it is permitting a person to cut a tree on one's own land. Yes. You would be allowed. You can cut a tree on own land. But if there is grant is there, the cutting tree you have to take it means okay, you can take it. Or you are only called for cutting means you don't have any right to take the timber. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
వీటి కట్టర్కి పిలిచారండి మీరు, వుడ్ కట్టర్కి, ఏది చెట్టు కొట్టడానికి కొట్టేండు. కెన్ హీ ఈస్ హ్యావింగ్ ద రైట్ టు టేక్ ద టింబర్?
నో సార్.
సపోజ్
No.
if you sold the tree, now you tell me.
ఓకే సార్, కట్
He has the
చేస్తా.
right.
That sold the tree means not only you are giving the permission to cut the tree, but also the grant to take it the timber back. So that is, so a license with the grant, a license without the grant. But when you say license, naturally, సార్ సర్కస్ టికెట్స్ ఇచ్చిన తర్వాత సగం సర్కస్లు బయటికి వెళ్ళిపోమంటారా అండి ఎవడన్నా?
నో సార్.
ఎప్పుడు అంటారు? ఇఫ్ యూ క్రియేటెడ్ ఏ న్యూసెన్స్ ఓవర్ దేర్, if you created a nuisance over there, then a bouncer will come and he will take you through out. Is it clear?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Section 52 of Indian Easement Act 1882 defines license. License అంటే ఏంటిది డిఫినేషన్ ఉన్నది 52 లో. I quote, where one person grants to another or to do a definite number of the other persons a right to do or Yeah, it is the Indian tradition that in the beginning or the ending of any program that we will make the play of the national anthem. Now the national anthem will be.
Jana Gana Mana Adhina जहां से अच्छा हिंदुस्तान हमारा। जय हिंद।
Jai Hind.